After much excited anticipation, Linkin Park's new album, One More Light, finally came out, and I've been listening to it for the majority of the day, and I have to say that I absolutely love it. I know that their new venture into this style of music has really caused a lot of contention within the Linkin Park fan base, but as an avid fan who has been here since the beginning of their musical run, I have to say that I love this album. It's a great album, and I love the direction they're going in. And the way I usually do these reviews is I like to point out what I think the top 5 best songs are on the album with regard to the message, with regard to the sonic aspects of the music. And I overall just want to reflect on the message of this album as a whole and what I think this means for Linkin Park's future. So the one thing that people will notice is a common theme throughout all of the songs, well, most of the songs on this album, is that there's some sort of uplifting message in each of them. They may begin in some sort of message surrounding, defeat, difficulty, pain, but the song, by the time its chorus reaches its zenith, becomes very uplifting or very bittersweet in some way. And I think that's a very interesting evolution in their music, because most of their music in the past has been very angry, somewhat sad, very somber, and now they're really making an effort to provide, well, to use the title, one more light for all of us. And I think that's a very amazing concept, very refreshing for Linkin Park especially, and I think with how things have been happening in our country over the past few months, we really need uplifting messages like these, so I really commend Linkin Park for this. And of course, I think it's sensible that a musical group evolves musically. I mean, there's still a lot of elements in their music that echoes how their music used to be, but overall they're still trying to do new things, and I think that's very refreshing. Anyway, the number 5 song that I wanted to mention here was the song Invisible, which basically centers around the theme of, well, hey, if you have felt invisible, well, now you're not invisible because I acknowledge you. And I think it's a very, very powerful theme. And another thing that I love is that Mike sings most of the song, and rarely in the past have we had Mike venture out beyond rapping, and he does have a very good singing voice. His voice has always been blended with Chester's mostly, and kind of in the background, but in this song we actually get to see him shine a little bit, and I thought that was great. I thought it was very refreshing, and we get to see some of his vocal prowess as well. The number 4 song that I wanted to pick was Good Goodbye, which is a very catchy tune, and it kind of has like that grungy feel like their older music used to have. And, I mean, it's a bit darker, but it still is uplifting in some way. It overall kind of bridges this album with their older music, and I think a lot of fans were pretty happy with this song. I know I was happy with this song. I'm happy with all of them, but it was nice to feel a little bit of that nostalgia in this album as well. And of course, if you haven't watched the music video is pretty awesome. It's very much organized like some sort of video game, which is really cool. The number 3 song that I wanted to emphasize here is the song One More Light, which is the title track of this album, and I think probably one of the most powerful pieces of music that Linkin Park has created since the song Iridescent on their album A Thousand Suns. One More Light is this very bittersweet song. It's still uplifting in a way, but it's this bittersweet song almost about, in a way, mortality. And I found it very refreshing because it's very stripped back. It uses minimal instrumentation. There is little to no percussiveness in it. And it focuses mostly on Chester's voice and the message of the song. And I think that, again, is very refreshing for Linkin Park to do. May not sit well with a lot of fans because it's a deviation from the violent percussive and string instruments, but it's very, very powerful. And I found myself on the verge of crying when listening to it, because with all of the losses that I and my family have had to endure over the past few months, it really hit close to home. The number 2 song on this that I wanted to emphasize is the song Halfway Right. And this song for me was the hidden gem that introduce this new style of music while at the same time connecting back to their older stuff, their roots. Because this song does have similar percussive beats and instrumentation to their new metal-ish music, but it also kind of follows that contemporary format with the very catchy hook and the very bouncy chorus in a way. And I just love the chord progression of this song. I think it's a very different type of chord progression, but at the same time it still kind of echoes what they've done in the past. I really don't know how to explain it. Like, maybe I have to listen to it more in order to articulate that better. But that's the vibe that I was getting from that song. The lyrics are great, the message is great, and honestly, I find this to be the one that I play most frequently. The number one spot for me that took the cake, that was the cherry on top of the sundae, is the song Battle Symphony. And I was hoping this song would become a single. I don't know. I think Good Goodbye was a promotional single, I'm not sure. But I really hope Battle Symphony becomes a single because it has, well, number one, it's uplifting like the rest of the album. Number two, it has that very, very catchy beat to it. It has that catchy hook, a lot like some of their older songs. And it kind of has the same style as, the same message in a way as some of their older songs. And I think it's again one of those pieces of music that appeals to the contemporary audiences, but also finds a way to satisfy the audiences who've been there since Hybrid Theory. And I love the song. It's amazing, and I really hope that something more becomes of it because I feel like it's the best track on the entire album with regard to message and, well, sonically. Anyway, I like the direction that Linkin Park is going in. I think it's amazing that they are being so open about how they are evolving musically and as individuals, because I know both Chester and Mike have stated multiple times, not to mention everyone else in the band, that they are in a drastically different headspace than they were in back when, say, Hybrid Theory came out. And I think it's important for us as fans to also evolve with the musicians, because I can tell you what, I'm in a different headspace than I was a decade ago. And while part of that nostalgia is very appealing and I wouldn't mind hearing more of that style of music, I also appreciate this new music and understand that it applies to me in a very unique way at this point in my life. But anyway, if you guys have listened to the album or have listened to any of the songs, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so yet. And also check out my links to my social media sites in the description section. And anyway, Linkin Park, I'm really excited to meet you in August. I love this album. Keep empowering and keep providing that, well, one more light for all of us.